Hi there, and welcome to the 10-Minute Dungeon. Whether it's because you had a busy day or because you spent too long lying on the couch watching Netflix, you have come to the right place to get a game, possibly for this evening, possibly for some time in the future. My name's Daniel. I'm a writer and designer with Hazard Gaming. My titles include Victoria and Faith and a number of others. But I've already talked for too long, so let's get on to our 10-minute dungeon. Today, the dungeon is brought to you by the letter A. Alright, here we go. Alright, so we've got our timer there. Boom. Timer's going. Alright, so we've got 9 minutes, 59 seconds. Okay, so add, approach, addicted, art. These are the ingredients that we have for our dungeon. Alright, so we've got... we got there, add, approach, addicted, art. All right, so yeah, let's get it started here. So the treasure is some art, I guess. Maybe it's a magical picture. Add, approach, addicted, art. So we might have title. We're going to say in the frame. Okay, so the bad guy is sort of addicted. What I don't know yet. Primary trait is addiction, and that may manifest as tics and so forth. Who knows? A secondary trait is is going to be regret, self-loathing. And again, I think it's good to have a person that's nuanced, some good things, some bad things, to make them understandable at least to some extent. So their drive is to get X, right? Whatever it is they're addicted to. Descriptor, we're going to have, I think we'll have thin, shuns light. I don't know why. I don't know what they're addicted to. Thin, shuns light, and we'll leave that last one to there. Moves, tags. So we could have maybe single-minded. If it is to do with getting whatever it is they're addicted to, then that's what they're going to get to. Who knows? We'll find that out maybe as we go along. All right, so yeah, so now we take a look at our location. Take a look at our words again. Add, approach, addicted, art. Okay, so all right, okay, so yeah, so the approach is going to be so they're going to be approached by the addict. Okay, they're not going to know that they're an addict, obviously. And they're going to be offered money to get a piece of art. Okay, so they're going to be approached, say, we want this piece of art. Okay, so therefore, sneaking is going to be like getting the art, maybe. Okay, I don't know what that might be. It could be something from a church. It could be something from a thing. I guess we're going to have to find out. We've got 3.5 minutes to find out. Okay, so talk. There's going to be lots of opportunity to talk. And these components here are basically things that you should put into your dungeon to allow the different people with the different sorts of things they're interested in, the different types of characters, to get involved in the story. Johnn Fourr's got a really great system, which he calls a 5-room dungeon, which essentially allows you to achieve a bunch of the things which we've got here on our 10-minute dungeon checklist in a slightly different way, but if you would like to read more about that, I suggest that you do. Okay, so plan, well, it's a heist, duh. Obviously, we want to have a cool heist. Fight, well, there's going to be guards. Okay, there's going to be some guards they're going to need to get hold of, and then talk. There's going to be lots of talking along the way, but let's come back to that later on. So opening, so we'll have a bustling night market. And element number 1 might be, I don't know, I'm not sure about any of that stuff. So a rich town, maybe. Riches, noises, smells, It's all going off here at this night market. Element 2, we're going to have law. It's very, very lawful. So like there's guards everywhere. So any behavior, bad behavior, punished. So our theme is going to be looming. And everything in its place. So we've got everything in its place, and it's going to be looming. So there's going to be, guards everywhere. And then we're going to have law guards. Any bad behavior is punished. Oh, and just learn something about the addict there. So their addiction to government stuff. I'm just going to put stuff there. I don't really know what that is. Okay, so this person's become addicted to stuff they were given as a soldier. Soldier serum. Okay, so again, not necessarily actually soldier serum, but you know what I mean. So this person has become addicted to this substance. They find themselves in a really lawful sort of a place, and they are trying to deal with their addiction, and they're going to get this art, whatever it might be. I'm going to say this is going to be the, we'll call it the Tsar's a golden statue, okay, with ruby eyes. Something like that, maybe. So they've got the Tsar's golden statue with ruby eyes, and maybe to give them a little extra feeling about that, to sort of get the characters on board, we're going to say, so any bad behaviors, this here is going to be really important, right? So we're going to want to make sure that at some point somebody does something really, 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 really minor, and then they fall foul of the law. So they're going to be like feeling negative towards this whole setup as it is. And then maybe subsequent to that is when they actually meet up with this addict here. Okay, so the addict has a sidekick. We're going to say a young girl. And this young girl's primary trait is fear and love. Okay, she loves her mother or father, whoever this addict might happen to be. You can decide that for yourself. And her drive is to get addict clean. Okay, and that might actually mean having to leave it. Descriptor is forthright, insecure, which might seem to be a little bit of a contradiction, but we'll just say that they're really like, they know exactly what it is they want, but then when they get challenged on stuff, maybe they're not quite so sure about it. So as long as they can bluster, they're good. As soon as they bluff is called, then maybe they're going to break. Not sure what else to put there. Finale will be maybe a escape from Tsar with gold. Okay, the element 1 will be a chase. Okay, and you can figure that out for yourself. Element 2 might be a fight. And element 3 is maybe a battle on a boat. Yeah, there you go, battle on ship. Okay, so the addict has a ship. Lined up. Or maybe it's not the addict, maybe it's the daughter. Okay, apparently can't spell daughter. There we go. Okay, so we've got the daughter who's doing that. And so now, where are they going to go next? Well, they're on the run, obviously, right? On the run. And the tough decision is, they're going to leave the addict or take them with her. Leave or take addict. They're going to give the addict the gold, but then he's got to get the stuff for his addiction, so I don't know. All right, so then we're going to have a... Right, so then we're going to have a Tsar's palace right here. Okay, you're going to have to figure out what goes on inside that, but you got the idea. We've got a large sort of like St. Michael's Square type situation here. There are all kinds of stalls along the way. This is maybe where the night market is, like this. We're going to have some kind of a stage up here where the Tsar can like prognosticate and so forth. And there's lots of stuff going on here. It's like pickpockets and stuff like that. They're going to get into the palace. They're going to steal this gold. And then they're going to take the gold, and then maybe there's a debt here as well, just to add an extra little bit of problem here. So maybe there's a debt. I don't know. But anyway, so there you go. So you've got a guy who's addicted. They meet them in the market. Prior to that, though, you want to try and get them involved in some kind of an altercation with the guards. You get a real feeling for how super lawful this whole area is. There apparently are soldiers who are addicted to some government sort of serum that helps them be super good at being soldiers, but then when they get past a certain age or they do something wrong, then they get cast aside because they can't afford to fuel this addiction. And so this guy is trying to steal some gold from the Tsar to pay him back and also to get some of the stuff. He's got a daughter who really wants to help him get clean, and that is your 10-minute adventure. Hopefully you had a good time. I certainly have got some ideas for that, for something maybe for the future. But there's your 10-minute dungeon. And I will see you next time when our dungeon will be brought to us by the letter B. Bye. Alright, this is the 10-minute dungeon post-game show. If you are still hanging around, great. If you're not, then, well, whatever. Here we go. So I'm going to take a quick look at this. We're going to do a little bit of tidy up here if you want to spend an extra couple of minutes. We've got the kernel of our story there, I think. Certainly enough to be going on with, but let's take a little bit of a closer look at this and see if we can figure out some changes that we might make. Okay, so first of all, I think that we can probably agree that the bad guy is in fact not this guy. This guy is pretty just the catalyst. Right, that's this addicted guy is probably the catalyst for the whole thing. I think that the bad guy, everybody would agree that the Tsar is the bad guy. But it's not really the Tsar that's the bad guy. It's probably more that I would say that the environment is the bad guy. Right, we've got this... right, the Tsar is the bad guy because he's created this like soldier serum situation, and he's basically keeping all of these guards addicted, which is creating this really serious. What have we got here? Where have I got it? Oh, I don't think I wrote it down here anywhere. It's going to be law, right? Like it's just this oppressive law, like this bad behavior is punished, right? So like this idea, this law is very, very important in this place, and this law is maintained by the Tsar through these addicted soldiers. So I'd say the bad guy is the Tsar. I don't think it's the Tsar necessarily that is the bad guy so much the environment that he creates. I really like this idea of the ship. That the daughter's lined up this ship, and they're going to like rush the ship, and maybe there's some sort of cool battle where they're going to fight as they get onto this boat. You know, like arrows are firing all over the place. They're on the boat with this guy and this idol. He's still addicted, so that's definitely going to create a problem later on, and maybe that's going to sort of lead to part 2 of this whole thing. Maybe it's all a trick. Who knows? But yeah, I think that you're going to need to come up with a name, I guess, for your young girl. I don't know. You have to figure that out. The daughter. I mean, you can figure out whether these things match for you or not. And I think probably, yeah. So you're going to open on this marketplace, like it's nighttime. You're going to get approached by this fella. Maybe he's a stall holder, maybe he's not, and he's going to talk to you about this heist that he has for this golden statue. Like because he's a soldier, like he's an ex-soldier, that means that he's going to know about the information. He's going to know the information for getting into this. Into the palace, maybe as a palace guard of some kind, and then that's why he's going to have the information for getting this statue. Yeah, so I think the opening, the bustling market, the smells and all that sort of thing, like maybe make sure that when you're describing the stuff, you know you're going to recruit the 5 senses for your all your descriptions. And yeah, so in terms of extra work you might have to do, you're probably going to want to have an idea of what this boat looks like. Maybe get on and draw a picture of the boat or something. But other than that, I think you've got plenty to go on there. If you want to have the tough decision, like I say, that you can leave or take the addict with you. If you take the addict with you, you're going to have additional trouble. Maybe you're going to take the daughter. I don't know. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. We've got to come up with a better name that we can't say in the frame. We're going to say we'll have to say in the night market. It's a little bit of a callback to In the Night Garden, which is a program that my children work. So we go In the Night Market. Okay, In the Night Market. So there you go. So that's your 10-minute dungeon. After hours, or whatever it is you call when you're a little bit at the end there. What's that called? A stinger or something? I don't know.